What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we have some fun things to go over. You've seen the title and thumbnail so you can get an idea of what we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about refinancing, and as you guys have seen, I refinanced my GTR and my Toyota Supra, and at the end of the day saving thousands of dollars, which is awesome to know. So for those of you who with an expensive car, with any type of car or even a home or whatever, any type of thing you're financing, these principles can be applied. Now I'm not a professional finance advisor or anything like that, but after running the numbers, seeing it on my own level to see what I'm saving, there is definitely money to be saved if you do it smart. So stay tuned for the whole video. We have a lot to go over. We're going to first go over all the numbers with the GTR, then the numbers on the Supra, and then go over why you would do this and how it can make sense, because you can get yourself screwed paying even more money than normal. You don't want to do that. So starting all off now with the Nissan GT-R, we're going to go over all the numbers with this car to see what it looks like. So with this, I bought this mid-January of 2018, and I took out a $44,000 loan on it. I did a 60-month term at 4.5%. So with that, my payments were around $821 a month, and with all of that, the interest paid over that 60 months would be roughly $5,200. So if we go down here now, I have made 26 payments at the time that I did the refinancing, and my payments range from $850 to $821. I did $850 from day one, and then when I bought the Supra, I dropped it down a little bit to the $821. And with all that, as of right now, the 26 months, I have paid $3,400 worth of interest. And then if we look at what I would have left on my remaining 34 months with this original loan, I would only have about $1,800 worth of interest to go. Now here's the reason why, because you're probably noticing that in 26 months, we're looking at $3,400 in interest, and in 34 months, we're looking at a lot less interest, even though it's more duration, because of this word right here, amortization. If you're not familiar with what that word means, is basically your first month's payment, you will pay the most interest that month versus your final month. You owe the most amount of money day one. So the first month of owning this car, I owed $44,000. So I'm paying interest on 44 grand. Next month, I've paid down $821, and roughly $150 of that goes to interest. But that means now I'm paying interest on $43,200. So every month your interest does go down just a little bit. And by the end of your entire loan, month number 59, month number 60, the interest is down to like 20, 30 bucks because the loan is so tiny. So just know you are paying more interest in the beginning because the loan is larger. So that's why these numbers add up to where it is. So then getting into the new loan. So this is an old car. It's a 2014 model year, so it's over 6 years old now. The bank got me the same interest rate. So I now refinance with my own bank, and I'll go over more of that details at the end of the video of why this made a lot of sense. So I have the same interest rate on the GTR because it's an old car. Most of the time, the newer the car, the better the rate. My credit is perfect history. I only have about 3 or 4 years worth of time though, so I still am new to credit versus some people with 10, 20 years. But that is what I got for this new loan. So right now, the new loan on the GTR is now $26,000 because I've already owned this for over 2 years. So I paid down quite a bit. So now at 26 grand, my payment actually is almost cut in half, down to 485 bucks a month. So from a month-to-month basis, that is a lot cheaper, from 820, to 480. So as far as my monthly savings go, that's a lot of money to go back into the bank instead of going into a car. So that is kind of cool month to month. Here is where you can get yourself into trouble though. I did a 60-month loan for the new loan. So now 26 grand, 60 months. The total interest on this loan, if I do 60 months, like actually go out all months, will be over $3,000 worth of interest. Now with all that, as you know, I've already paid $3,400 in interest. So if I actually did this new loan the entire 60 months, I would be paying what I've already paid and this new number, which means my total interest would be closer to $6,500 to own this car. But if we look back, my total interest on the original loan was $5,200. So that's where you can get into trouble. So for the GTR, because it's the same interest rate, if I do the 60-month loan on this new loan, I will pay more to own this car than if I didn't do anything at all. So with all that, after 34 months, the interest paid will be $1,800 on this new loan. So that tells me that this new loan that I've taken out for 26 grand, I need to have it paid off when I get down to 34 months later, which means March of 2022, this car needs to be paid off or traded in for the next one or sold or something. That way I'm not wasting extra money on interest. And that balance at the time will be around $17,000. So for this car at least, I haven't actually saved any money. I'm just moving the money around. So over the next 34 months, instead of paying $820 every single month for the next 36 months, getting it down to zero, I'm just paying half as much for quite a while and then a lump sum at the end. So I'm not saving any money on the GTR But as far as monthly expenses go, that type of savings, at least month to month, that money can go into the bank, earn me interest, or I can spend that on other investments to earn me money rather than going into an asset where I can't get actual money into it. And a lot of people, there's a debate on financing a car or paying cash. If you pay cash for a car, all that money's in the car, you can't do anything with it. So with me, this type of monthly savings, I could literally buy another car for YouTube, make money on that car on YouTube, and make more money. So that now brings us to the Toyota Supra. Let's go over the numbers on this car. So 2020 model year car. I bought this in September of 2019. At the time of doing this, I have made 7 payments on the car. So a very new car, obviously, and very new into the loan. So this car, I did a $45,000 loan at 4.5% interest rate, and my payment was $715 a month at 72 months. Now this was all financed through Toyota, and that was the best rate they could do for new cars. That's just what Toyota was doing. So with that, I will pay $6,400 in interest if I do the length of this term. So that's a lot of money in interest in all honesty. So definitely not a car I would even remotely think about not paying off early. So with that, I've gone 7 months at that much money. I have paid just about $1,000 in interest in a little over half a year. And I have about $5,400 in interest to go if I do 72 months of payments. So with the car now, I refinance the car. I did $40,000 because that is how much I currently owe. And I got a better rate, almost 1% better, 3.6% now. And I did the same 72 months and dropped my payment down to $619. So saved $100 a month on this car. And then with this loan, if I go the whole 72 months, we're looking at $4,500 in interest. So if you do a little bit of math right here with these numbers on the screen, I can go the duration of this new loan and I will break even. And what I mean by breaking even, I've already paid $1,000 in interest. I have $4,500 to go on this new loan. That equals pretty much the same number as what I would have left if I kept this original loan. So if I paid this car off early, that's where I will save money on interest with this car because it's a lower interest rate and I've only gone 7 months with it. Now, one thing with the numbers to keep in mind, there is a $1,700 refund that I got from a warranty on this car when I bought it. Something kind of stupid, a lot of new car dealers will do this, so watch out for this little scam. They'll basically tell you if you buy a warranty, we'll lower your interest rate, blah, 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 but you can cancel the warranty. So I had to do that just to get this interest rate because if not, it would have been like 5.5%, which for perfect credit, that is ridiculous. So I had to kind of play the dealer's game, do the stupid warranty, and then 2 months later, cancel it, got the full refund, which went to the principal of this loan. So that's why those numbers might be a little off for those of you who are going to do the math. But yeah, so that is the numbers on the Supra. So with this car, if I pay it off in 2 years or just sell it or trade it in for something in the next year or so, which in all honesty, this probably will be traded in for something within 2 years anyway. So it's not like I would have paid all that interest anyway. Same with the new number, same with the GTR. I'm not going to pay all that interest. If you pay off a car early, you're saving money on interest. So with this car, I'm probably only going to have it for another 1.5 years anyway. So at least I am saving a little bit on interest per month and enjoying $100 more in the bank, going into the bank versus going into the car. So with all that said, basically there are 2 types of savings if you're going to refinance your car. There are your short-term savings and then your long-term savings. So what are the short-term savings? The short-term savings are the monthly payment. Your monthly payment is now lower, therefore every month you're putting more money in your bank account versus paying towards a car. So in my case, I'm saving myself almost $500 a month, which in the short term, yeah, $500 a month to go in the bank versus going to the cars is a big deal. That is a lot of money to go towards something else or to just save for a rainy day. And especially in today's market with the world shut down, people out of work, a lot of that stuff, those short-term savings can honestly help out a ton of people right now. So that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, just because I'm sure a lot of you are going through a lot of crap right now and it sucks. And I'm not immune to it. YouTube ad revenue is down by 50%. Our views are up though, so thank you guys so much for watching the videos. That is really awesome to see. But money, of course, is tighter for a lot of people right now. So in the short term, yeah, you're gonna be saving money per month. And as far as the monthly payments go over the next year, I'm talking about like $6,000 in savings. So over the next year, that's $6,000 that can go in my bank account versus sitting in cars. So that is pretty cool. And then the long-term savings are the fact that if you can get a lower interest rate and pay off the car early anyway, you're gonna be saving money on interest. Now with the GTR, I'm not gonna be saving any money on interest given that I'm paying the exact same interest rate. So that car is more, like I had said earlier, I'm just paying less for a while and then a lump sum at the end versus just that even, 800 something bucks every month. So that car, not really gonna save money, I'm just enjoying short-term savings to then spend it at the end. So that car is kind of a little bit different. The Supra, however, if I pay this off, if I kept it for, let's say, 4 years or 5 years, I'll save over $1,000 in interest that I wouldn't have to spend because my interest rate is 1% lower. So that's kind of, I think, everything I had to go over as far as refinancing. Keep in mind, whenever you're financing a car or anything like that, whenever you're buying something expensive, do not extend yourself. Do not spend money that you don't have. Don't overextend yourself and buy something that's way too expensive for you. So always make sure you're buying cars that you can actually afford. Even if your income dips a little bit, you need to still be able to afford that car. So be smart when you do buy a car. And right now, one thing you can take advantage of if you are actually buying a new car anyway, a lot of dealers are doing 0% interest because they need to get cars sold. So now is a really good time to actually buy a new car if it makes sense for you. Of course, a lot of things are tight right now, so don't go out and blow the money that you don't have. But if you are looking to buy a new car, now is a good time. And if you do have a car that maybe have a little bit higher interest rate, see about refinancing, because anyone who bought a recent car, something new, 2018s or up, you can probably save yourself on interest. And then the last thing that I had to talk about as far as the benefits of this is the convenience. Now for me, I used to have 3 different bank accounts. I had my personal bank account, which is just my own debit card, credit card, my savings account. And then I had a different credit union for the GTR and then Toyota Finance for the Supra. So I had my own bank, then I had to go into a different one for the GTR and a different one for the Supra. That is a little inconvenient. Now I refinance both cars with my personal bank account. So when I go into my own bank, I see both my cars there too, which is really nice. It's a lot more convenient for me and just a little bit easier to do. Having everything that I owe on anybody is on one bank. I can just see it better versus having other things elsewhere. And when the time comes for another car, let's say in a year and a half I trade this in for the next one, I'll have an easier way to go to my own bank to get financing and basically shop around, because sometimes you're kind of stuck with what the dealer offers you. But if you have your own bank that you've built credit with, they're going to be a lot more willing to loan you money for the next car. And being a small business, I work for myself, it is harder for me to get a loan than most people because I don't have that normal job. It's a little bit different for me, and the dealership has always been way easier to get financing through them. And then on top of all that, another cool thing about this whole refinancing, and a big plus to why you should do this if it makes sense for you, like for me, this absolutely makes sense, and I know the numbers to where I won't spend any more than I would have, but is your credit. Now here's the cool thing. This car, my original loan at $45,000, on my credit, it will show that I've paid this car off in 7 months. That is a massive thing to have on your credit, saying that you can pay off that kind of car in that amount of time. And then it now shows that I have a new loan, a brand new loan. As far as the credit goes, they don't know it's the same car, it's just a new loan. So now I've had over $80,000 worth of loans on this car on my credit, even though it's all the same money. And then on the GTR, that shows that I've paid off a $44,000 loan in 2 years, and then now have a brand new loan for $26,000. So as far as your credit goes, that's 2 loans now paid off under my name, which is super cool to have. So having these 2 now paid off and then new loans issued, that now shows like 6 or 7 loans under me, which is really good to have for the future. And for me, 2021, I have a lot of new things happening in my life. So doing this all right now made a lot of sense to free up some money and to build credit for future purchases that I have coming up in the next few years. So all of this, work it to your advantage. That is the goal. You can of course get yourself in a tricky situation if you don't do it correctly. So know those numbers, that if you are refinancing a car after many years like the GTR, don't pay the whole loan because then you'll spend more money. But I think that's about everything I had to go over with refinancing my 2 cars. Definitely worked to my advantage, and I would recommend looking into it. Talk to your own bank. I'm doing this through my own credit union. So go to your own bank, see what they can do, or go to other banks or credit unions or whatever just to see what someone else can do, and shop around and see what you can do. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next video.